Seven, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother.
Hey guys, and welcome to another episode. And of course, you guys know what we normally do here. We look at a body of work from one mixer. You might be a little bit confused as into where Richard is, but Rudy jumped in for him. Unfortunately, Richard got burgled last week and they took most of his stuff. So he'll be back pretty soon. But Rudy jumped in just in his place. So welcome, Rudy.
How's it? Glad to be here.
So just to introduce Rudy, on all the flavors, his nick is RudeRudi. So he's got a couple of recipes out there. Then, Rudy has also recently released a one-shot, and he's got a juice line. So Rudy, you can just run us through those.
Yeah, thanks, man. So together with the Scumbags, we three of us released a one-shot. Myself, I released the Icy Lychee. The name, I know the guys made fun of it prior, but so the lychee, it was aimed at the American market, and they pronounced lychee. So it was Icy Lychee, which was a play on words. Did phenomenally well. We launched the whole range at VapeCon together with the juice and by Daniel and the custard. What was this? The custard by Vino. It did very, very well. The very positive feedback. And coincidentally, it was via Black Vapor across from our stand where we launched it at VapeCon. I had the fortune of joining forces with Benji at Black Vapor. He recently opened his ISO 9 lab and made it available to DIY guys that want to get into the market. So the process is a little bit different, where you provide him with your recipe and they take care of everything else. So they mix it, they bottle it, they steep it, they label it, they sterilize it, all in the ISO lab, and they send you the complete product. Some of the other facilities are a little bit more complex, where you have to mix at home in a non-ISO environment and then send it off to them for bottling. So there's always a little bit of a disconnect in the quality. So I just found that the Vapor Mountains facility locally was up there with the best. And we relaunched the three most popular recipes that I've got on all the flavors. So that was the Icy Lychee together with Morning Glory, which is a lovely, very light coffee vape, accented with a little bit of biscuit and caramel. And the other one was a creme brulee, just a plain, straightforward creme brulee. And the only difference with my style of mixing is that the ingredients are fairly minimal. So I stick to about 3 or 4 base ingredients, and I don't use any sweetener. So all my recipes are nice and easy vaping, and there's no off notes from the excessive sweetener that's so prevalent these days in the normal commercial juices. Yeah, and it's available. So we've got it online. It's on the website. It's vapefuel.co.za, and then we're getting vendors signing up sporadically. It's still brand new. It's only been out there for a week, so it's growing nicely.
Yeah, it literally launched at VapeCon. So if you go and watch the VapeCon video, which I will have at the end of this video, I'll put a link in there, and then you can go and have a look at, the Vape Fuel stand. It was very, very neatly organized, nice, clean. You can even see there in the back of Rudy's shot, his labeling as well. It looks like it's for like a more mature market. You know what I mean? I really love that about it. Okay, guys.
I try to steer away. Sorry, I try to steer away from the overly overt use of all the graphics and the imagery and the cartooniness, trying to be a little bit more upmarket and adult and contemporary, and not play within the sphere of the youngsters. So it's aimed for the more mature, experienced vapors.
Nice.
I really like the design. It looks very clean. I like it.
Yeah, you see, I don't know if many people know this, but if you look at the Vape Fuel logo, it's 2 R's, back to back. But, it also looks like an ant. I really like that about it. I can't...
Somebody else told me if you look for the more perverted mind, there's a lady that's lying.
Got you on a weird chair.
Yeah, no. So there are many interpretations of the logo, but in fact it's only 2 R's that's mirrored.
Yeah. Okay, so in today's show, we are going to be talking about RuntDastardly, excuse me. So we've all mixed up a couple of the recipes on all the flavors, and I'm going to kick off with Kauaian. Now, I was immediately drawn to Kauaian because it's a medley of fruits, and it's a medley of weird fruits, and I'm always looking for 3 fruit recipes that kind of transcend into something new and different, something a little bit more exotic, and that's why I gravitated towards this. Looks like we just lost Deetz there. He'll hop back on, I'm sure. But the recipe is 1% cactus, Inawera cactus, 4% Flavora guanabana. Am I saying that correctly, Rudy? Guanabana.
Yeah, it's guanabana. I mean, it's quite a weird one because it's not a very common fruit, and it's a very weird looking thing, and it's guanabana.
Guanabana, yeah. And it's got 1% pink guava, which is my favorite guava. So, it had 2 concentrates in there, which I already was very affair with and love. So it was just the one thing in there that was the guanabana, which was, something that I was willing to explore with. Okay, but for all the people out there that do not have a clue or want to know what a guanabana is, it's also called a soursop. It's a spiky green fruit that is produced by an evergreen tree. It's found in tropical regions in the Caribbean and the Americas, right? The flavor, the wiki flavor profile, this is a thing. You can take this further. Screw ELR, screw ATF. Go and look at wiki, dude. But what wiki is describing this fruit to taste like, saying it's similar to pineapple. Okay, the fruit is a combination of strawberries and apple, or best described as a combination of strawberries and apple and sour citrus flavor notes, contrasting with the underlying creamy texture reminiscent of coconut and banana. Yeah, that's
mouthful.
I'm not sure I'm getting all of that out of guanabana, but I am getting that banana creaminess, and I do understand the citrus and the pineapple-iness that they're talking about there, but it's really difficult to describe if it's such an exotic fruit and I've never, laid my hands on it. Let me just quickly respond to Deetz here. He's trying to get back in, just saying no problem. So that was the wiki flavor profile. Okay, now what I think here, this is what the description of it is. If you go to all the flavors, these 3 fruits play beautifully together, create a delicate, complex, incredibly refreshing shake and vape. I agree with that. You can definitely shake this up and you can vape it. The inhale is juicy, full and sweet. The exhale is like spinning a color wheel until it all blurs into some pleasing blue, green, and undiscovered hue. A little grapefruit zing, some voluptuous lychee sweetness. Now, I didn't taste this lychee sweetness on my side. Something vaguely papaya nana whipped up in a blender with a light touch of coconut milk and garnished with an island flower. This is, so I agree, these three fruits play very well together, but what is surprising is, you know, if you think of Flavora Pink Guava and Cactus, those are two very strong top notes, you know what I mean, that can come through. And, you know, if you look at Cactus, it's used at 1%, which is pretty high in a fruit blend. And, you know, the recipe is balanced very well because I'm not getting like an overwhelming Cactus experience out of this. I think the Guanabana is toning it down a little bit because Guanabana is used here at 4%, right? Like I said, I didn't get the sweet lychee out of this here, but my experience is more that I'm getting slight guava and cactus on the front, and then at the back I'm getting you know, something close to a little bit of cream and banana, you know, in the back.
Did you pick up any of the did you pick up any of the coconut notes that they make mention of?
No, but I thought that, you know, the thing here is that's something that mixers do is, you know, if she wants you to taste the coconut in there, she's got the cream, you know, that creaminess in the mix. Yeah. And because it's, you know, such an exotic mix, it can almost like fool you to taste coconut. So I'm not sure if that was what she was doing here or if there is really coconut. Did you taste coconut?
Not at all. So for me, I get a very strong papaya flavor out of the Guanabana. So I get a pink guava, definitely strong notes of the guava, toned down by the Guanabana. But it has a very heavy papaya, bittery, tropical flavor to me, which I enjoy immensely. I made it without the WS23. Just to get the true profile of the intended flavors. I've got another batch that is almost ready with just a touch of WS23 just for that cooling effect.
Yeah, I went for the WS23 variation, and Runt actually suggested we do this. You know, if we're looking for something a little bit cooler, you know, I can't really fault anything on this recipe. You know, I think what happened when I was looking at the recipe, I was looking at the picture of the recipe. So don't look at the pictures, read the description. And it's this, you know, it's this like blue sort of icy cocktail drink, right? And because of that, I was hoping to get a little bit more texture, but it's nowhere in the description. So I can't really fault Runt on any of that. I was enjoying this. I really like fragrant recipes, you know, because you know, I come from you know, years of vaping creamy and heavy stuff like custards and bakeries and stuff, and I kind of got sick of that. And you know, over this last year I've just been vaping a lot of fruity stuff, and this is great because it's pretty light and it's easy to vape, but you're getting a full mouth of flavor, right? I don't think, and you'll probably you know, disagree with me here, but I wouldn't be too against it to add a little bit of sweetener in here if you like something a little bit sweeter. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Not for me. Yeah, I don't. I mean, I hate sweetener. It's just because I don't take any sugar in real life. So anything. My palate is toned the sweetener out completely. So when I taste something with sweetness, almost like drinking black coffee permanently and then having a coffee with two teaspoons of sugar. It just has an immediate, almost revolting effect in your mouth. So I try my best to avoid sweetener at all costs.
At all costs, yeah. Well, there we go. If you do like sweetener, this recipe I think will, you know, will do well with a little bit of sweetener. if you are looking for a little bit of texture in this recipe, you can potentially meddle around with a little bit of jelly candy, but very low, because I'm not sure what impact that it's going to have on that creaminess of the guanabana in this recipe. But, I would rate this recipe on my side 3.5 out of 5. Any other elements you want to add on this, Rudy?
Yeah, no, I think you summed it up pretty accurately. There's also a slight banana note to it. Some of the comments suggested that there was because of the tropical element, that there was a banana note to it, which you pick up, but it's faint. So banana can unfortunately ruin a recipe immediately, because it is a very faint part of this. And the guanabana and the guava is strong enough to keep that at bay and let the actual fruit be the hero here. So it is a delightful recipe. I mean, it is literally an all-day vape. It can be just vaped the entire day, and I don't think you can get tired of it very easily, because it is so refreshing and different. So it's not just another apple or a strawberry. And because of all the different fruits that one can pick up in there, it keeps it interesting, which is a sign of a very good recipe. Yeah.
Then what else that I wanted to talk about over here? Guys, Deetz is struggling with his internet connection, so he'll just hop in the middle of the show. Let's move on then. What else have you mixed up from Runt on your side, Rudy?
I've been a bit of a Runt fanboy over my mixing career, and I've mixed quite a number of the recipes. One of the first ones that I did probably about 2 years ago was the dachi. And I was rather fortunate and lucky that I got some of the final Inawera waffle around. So this recipe was based, and she explicitly says that you cannot at any cost sub the Inawera waffle. So for those people who did not get any Inawera waffle when it was still produced, unfortunately, sorry, you won't be able to make it. I was lucky enough, I got 2 bottles from a local guy. So I got 2 bottles of the stuff. You use so little of it. I mean, this bottle is still full. This bottle is about a third left. I mean, this recipe calls for it at 0.15%. And honestly, when I made it the first time, 0.15 in a 30 ml was literally a drop. It's 2 drops. And a drop can really ruin a recipe. And I learned that the hard way by making this the first batch, and I upped it a little bit. And it didn't taste pleasant at all. I then made another batch, dropped it all the way down to the recommended 0.15, and it was perfect. So if you don't have waffle, you can't get it anymore, unfortunately. I have been made some offers on my stock, but I'm not letting it go. This will probably last me another 3 or 4 years. And I've had these 2 bottles for just over a year and a half, and it's still going. So I'll be making this one for a while. But just to get to dachi, which is a stroopwafel. And she starts here to say, I repeat, do not mix this if you do not have the now discontinued Inawera waffle. I'm sorry, but no suitable substitutes exist at this time, and mixing this without it absolutely destroys the profile. And then she adds, if you don't see any new recipes for me from a long time, you can rest assured I ran out of Inawera waffle and died of sorrow. I mean, it's such a beautiful ingredient. And unfortunately, there's no more. But for those who still have it, definitely make this. And I'm sure you must have made this if you have it. The second ingredient, which is in question, which has also been reformulated, but still available, is in a rare biscuit, which forms the base of the recipe. And those two combined give you this beautiful light stroopwafel, which is the base, the biscuit base of it. And unfortunately, without those two, you cannot emulate it. It's then bound in the middle with a delicious mix. I mean, it's brown sugar, buttercream, creme brulee, maple syrup, and a bit of bourbon vanilla. And those ingredients combined produces a thick and rich filling that is then enrobed on either side, topped and bottomed with this beautiful biscuit that's made from the waffle, the sugar cookie, and the biscuit. And it's a steeper. I mean, it needs. She recommends 7 days. I give it a bit longer because the Inariera waffle needs to settle a bit. It has a very distinct burnt waffle iron taste to it. At first taste, it might be a little bit off-putting to some, but that goes away pretty quickly, and it melds into the sugar cookie and the biscuit. And it provides a beautiful base. So I've used that base for other ingredients, but this still remains the ultimate in terms of a stroopwafel. There are other recipes on ELR that try and emulate this, but unfortunately, nothing touches this. People that has made this, I mean, the guys just rave about it. Idiots, DJ Mills, Core Vape, everybody's comments on this, even Mr. Burgundy, they rave about this. It's a 5-star all-rounder. The effort that's gone into to craft this recipe is unbelievable. It is. There's nothing that is out of place. Every little thing, and it's minute little details like 0.15 of the cinnamon, 0.15 of the waffle, 1% of creme brulee, and all of those just create this perfect harmonious blend and this delicious stroopwafel. And unfortunately, you can't make it anymore without the core ingredients. So a top-notch recipe, this is definitely a 5 out of 5. This is for a bakery addict. This is not for a fruity vape kind of guy. You're not going to enjoy this. It's purely because of the funny taste the waffle adds. But once you're hooked, it's like a gin and tonic. Once you're hooked, you can't stop. The first time you have a gin, it's revolt. After a couple of weeks, you're hooked, and this is what this does. It is an amazing recipe, and it's one for the books.
So this is a 9 concentrate recipe, so a little bit more on the complex side here. And what you were saying is rather let this steep for like 2 weeks, right?
Yeah. So remember, this one was made back in 2016 when the average recipe contained about 9 ingredients and more, and the total flavor percentage was much higher. This doesn't suffer the same fate in terms of total percentages. I would say 7.8% total, and the majority of that is made up by the sugar cookie, which is 3%, and all the other ingredients are very small increments. So it's 1% and 0.5% of most of the others. But it is complex because that complexity is needed delicate, to create this thing.
Yeah, because it's delicate mixing. I mean, if you try and mix up 15 mils and try and hit 0.5%, it's going to be tough. You're
not going to get there. No, this one is absolute genius. Good. Okay, I'm going to move on to the next one. So the next one is also an absolute, I think it's probably one of the best, if not the best, coffee recipes around. Coffee has this very bad rap within the vaping community and in the juice market that there are no authentic coffee tasting recipes around. They all have this burnt rubber, terrible taste, and it's burnt peanuts and it's burnt rubber, and I mean it's one of those also almost unattainable flavor profiles. Until the guys at Medicine Flower got a hold of coffee a couple of years ago, and they created a beautiful, true coffee flavor. Medicine Flower has a handful of select premium concentrates, and coffee is one of them. It is expensive. It's probably 10 times the price of regular ingredients, but it is used very sparingly. In Marietta, which is simplistically, I mean, it's just as she calls it, it's an authentic cup of coffee with cream and a little sugar and nothing more. It is also a fairly complex recipe. There are 6 ingredients in there. For modern day mixing, that is sort of the limit in terms of ingredient and keeping the true flavor profiles honest and in place. And in Marietta, this recipe has perfectly encapsulated a cup of coffee, a perfectly roasted cup of coffee, just with milk and sugar, nothing fancy. So she says it's a perfect, simple, cream and sugared cup of coffee through the sweet-looking glass of nostalgia. I had my first cup of coffee in 1979 when I was 6 years old. This is not me now. At the Marietta Diner in Georgia, hence the name. This recipe is a love letter to one of my fondest childhood memories. And this pays homage to a coffee vape and to an experience in her life, and she's emulated and recreated that experience in this recipe. The recipe is fairly simple and complex at the same time, and the star of the show is definitely the Medicine Flower coffee. Some of the things used here to coax and to tame the coffee down at the same time was Booster or the Tiramisu by FA, and it's used at 0.5%, and it helps the coffee, and true to its name, it boosts the coffee flavor, and it brings an element to the coffee that is otherwise absent without it. It makes it fuller. It makes it more bitter. Is not the right word, but it provides that authentic coffee taste to it. And then to create the sweetness, the Bavarian cream, marshmallow, sweet cream, and vanilla whipped cream combined provides both sweetness and creaminess to this coffee. A note on this one is that it's a steeper. It is a proper steeper, no less than 30 days. While the recipe steeps, many things happen, and the Medicine Flower undergoes quite a transformation. After week 1, I had a taste, and it was almost astringent. It had a very peculiar off note to it. Read the notes again, and she said, just let it sit. I had it after 2 weeks just to gauge its progress, and it started to bloom and develop. After week 3, it tasted terrible again. After week 4, then we were on track now. And then since, I mean, I had a bottle, I made 100 mils of it. And I think it lasted up until about month 8. And it just got better and better. It really got better as the months progressed. The coffee became fuller. The creaminess became creamier. The sweetness subsided slightly, and it was just a beautiful coffee. This is not for the faint-hearted. If you have not had a coffee vape or a full coffee vape prior, this should probably not be your first one. It is a complex recipe for an experienced vapor, but it is beautiful. It's a stunning recipe, and there's no subs possible. The coffee can certainly not be substituted. I don't believe, and so does she, that there's any substitute for Medicine Flower coffee. It is expensive, but the one bottle, I think it's only available in a 15 ml bottle, that is sort of similar to the Inawera waffle. It's going to last you for a year or so. So it's a good investment to get, and can be used in here as a absolute treat. So this I would whip out on a weekend or in the evening and have it. It is stunning. The hazelnuts that can be used in here to add to it. She recommends a few interpretations there. One is a little bit of hazelnut to add an extra dimension. Bit of vanilla will make it nice. It's a nice vanilla coffee, and maybe a little bit of butterscotch and caramel to add that increased sweetness. But it's a stunning recipe. I would give it also definitely a 5 out of 5. There's no doubt about it. And just thanks to Andre from E6 SA who put me onto this recipe, and he actually sent me my first little one shot when I was interested in mixing this up, but I wasn't certain if I was going to spend all that money on this on the concentrate. He mixed me a little one shot and sent it up. I mixed it up, and I immediately bought a bottle of medicine flower coffee. It's just a thing of beauty.
So, okay, I'm interested now because I had no clue that this existed. I didn't even look at this recipe here. I just quickly went over it and I saw, oh, medicine flower, don't have that. Can't mix that up. Nobody has that. But I know BLCK stocks it. What do they stock it for? How much is it?
It's quite a bit. It's 240 odd rand. So it's it's pricey. I can have a quick quiz. I think it was just over the 200 rand, but it's a 15 ml bottle.
Because the reason why I'm so interested is my first ever vape that I had was a Twisp, and it had the Twisp juice, which was 18 milligrams, and it was their coffee flavor, and that was just lovely for me. You know, I bought that. I didn't need to buy anything else. I bought their tobacco as well. And I actually mix the two, the tobacco and the coffee sometimes together for something a little bit different. But then when I started mixing my own juice and I started going through all the coffee flavors out there, I actually gave up because of that rubber note and just not finding the correct one. And you actually get almost sick from all the off notes that you get in some of them. So now that you're saying, hey, would you recommend this coffee as just a straight up creamy coffee? You can maybe, does it have enough sweetness for you, or would you recommend a little bit more sweetness?
For me, it has enough sweetness. I wouldn't add any more. I would do perhaps just a bit of DIY FS vanilla or some vanilla, shisha vanilla, maybe 0.5%, just to add an additional bit of vanilla. But sweetness for me not necessary. For a more commercial purpose, for sure, you can add maybe 0.5% to 1% of a sweetener. But for me, it is perfect as it is. The ingredients in there speak for themselves, and they add a beautiful touch of sweetness. Just coincidentally, I just looked now. It's 350 rand for a 15 ml of the medicine flower coffee. So it is rather pricey. It is. So it is. I mean, it's 10 times more, just about. But you're gonna buy it once, and you're gonna savor it. Because this is definitely not an all-day vape. This is an occasional. Once a week or so, you whip it out.
Okay, gotcha.
Good. Moving on. Well, have you got any more questions? Anybody comments on this one? You're happy with it?
You need to get it now.
Okay, the last one I made quite a while ago. I made it back in April. Was Black Phillip. So Black Phillip is another one of those very complex, flavorful tobaccos. In this instance, it is at heart a rich vanilla custard with a hint of dark tobacco, and that is what it is in essence. It's just it's a custard tobacco, and beautifully crafted with, and again in the same mixing style, very delicate use of the ingredients. Nothing overbearing. There's nothing that kicks you in the teeth. Everything is there just so to create a perfect tobacco. So it consists of Flavor Arts Black Fire. Black Fire gives a very authentic, smoky, ashy taste to this vape, and it keeps it very real. It adds that dimension to tobaccos that is sort of one of a kind. It is extremely potent. 1% too much and you will ruin the whole recipe. So Black Fire, used with caution. And in here it's used at 0.5. And then Classic 4 Pipe Black. I got that in just for this recipe. I had the other Classic 4 Pipe. I didn't have the black. So I contacted and found out if I could sub, but there is no sub for this one. So this is a stunning tobacco by Inawera. It's a nice, rich, flavorful tobacco, and then combined with a Black Fire provides that authentic tobacco note to it. My favorite ingredient in there again, a bit of creme brulee and custard in Inawera, both to provide the custard note to this. And support it with vanilla custard, Capella vanilla custard V1, which is the main portion of this at 5%. So that provides the base, and then the vanilla, the DFS Holy Vanilla, provides the little bit of creaminess and sweetness, and it's a stunning. So it's a very dense and deep vanilla custard enhanced with tobacco. Very, very tobacco forward. The Black Fire, as I say, provides that authenticness. And again, this needs to steep for a full month, nothing less. You cannot get away with even 3 weeks. 4 weeks, and then the more the better. It gets creamier and smoother, and the tobacco turns down slightly after about 5 weeks, and the vanilla pops a bit more. But this is a stunner again. Total flavoring is 10.5%, 5 of which is the vanilla custard, and the rest are all again used at 1.5 and 5%. This is a coil killer. So once you drip this or you put this in your tank, you can't use your tank for anything else, particularly because of the Black Fire. So use this on fresh wicks and be prepared to re-wick after that. You won't be able to put anything else other than another strong tobacco on those same set of wicks.
You don't have to throw away your RDA though, right?
You don't have to throw away RDA. It's not like honey or bubble gum. This one is doable. It's doable. You don't have to throw it away.
Can you just expand a little bit on that Black Fire? Like which part, or which part of the tobacco is it? Where would you say? What does that?
It's very weird.
Like smoke or the burning type of. It's difficult to ask the question. Like burning smoke.
I know what you mean.
Actually, yeah.
So it gives it birth actually. So it gives that almost like fireside when you sit at the campfire, not wood from the local grocery store, but if you buy hardwood and you sit in the bush and you put a new log on, that first smell that comes off that proper hardwood. So it's got an aromatic smell to it, and this is what the Black Fire does. It gives it that ashy, smoky, but not smoky like in chips, like in Simba chips smoked beef flavor. It's not that smoky. It's an authentic smoke flavor, like a burnt firewood flavor, and a bit of ash. So it almost dries it out a little bit, but it imparts a very authentic, a cigar-y flavor to it. And it's a very natural flavor. So when you smell the bottle, it's got this weird smoke thing happening. And then, of course, in the steep that melds together with the other ingredients, and it just produces an awesome final product.
Definitely sounds like something I need. So add it to the shopping cart.
Yeah.
Would you add this to all tobaccos, or would you say this would really only work with? I think you basically answered it because you said it's a cigar, strong.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
basically only with strong pipe tobaccos, not really with your analog type of cigarette style.
No. Specialist ingredients used very sparingly, but and the mixer must know this ingredient well. Single flavor testing on this one is necessary, but it's going to be very peculiar as a single flavor because of its weirdness. I mean, it's a very peculiar thing. So play with it, get it, and again, I mean, you just use a drop, 0.5 at a time, but very versatile and definitely necessary if you are a tobacco mixer.
Awesome, definitely getting it. Thanks.
Good. Okay, and then the last one I made was the lemon hashtag. So it's a lemon cake, and this is when she describes it as a sinfully butter-rich pound cake, drizzled with light sweet cream cheese icing. I mean, it is beautiful. It uses all the right ingredients. It uses my favorite lemon, which is FE lemon. It is so authentic. It literally tastes like a fresh lemon. There's no candied vibes. There's nothing like it. It is a beautiful lemon flavor. So with this, I mean, it's lemon cake, in a lemon cake. With FE lemon, which provides that vibrant lemon to it. The Cap Golden butter keeps the lemon cake nice and moist. And then the sugar cookie adds that additional bakery sweet cookie flavor to it. That just makes it nice. It's sort of dense and light at the same time. It's difficult to explain, but it's not like a pound cake. It's more like a pimped up yellow cake, and then drizzled with cream cheese icing. For me, this recipe is nice and simple, and it's a refreshing bake. The lemon for some may be too much because there's lemon in the cream cheese icing. There's lemon in the lemon cake. The FE lemon is very lemony. So if you are not a lemon lover, this might not be for you. But for a bakery lover, this would be. I mean, this is heaven. This was also created back in 2016, so total flavoring of 16. The only recommendation is perhaps drop the lemon slightly to about 2, but it might take away some of the authenticness of this recipe. The sugar cookie at 3 is perfect. There's nothing wrong there. FA meringue at 1%, golden butter 1.5, and I mean, combined, it's a beautiful recipe. The others I gave 5 out of 5 for all of them. This one I'll definitely give a 4. It's almost a 5. There's just something there that can be enhanced. I don't know if it's the use of the butter. Maybe a TFA plain butter would be better in there. I understand why the golden butter is in here, but I think it's being killed by the FE lemon which is very strong. And perhaps since this recipe was created, other better cake bases were released. Maybe a pound cake or something like that could assist here. But this, I mean, as it is, it's a very, very good recipe. Well balanced. Everything is just so nothing overpowers except for the lemon slightly if you're not a lemon lover, but a beautiful recipe.
Yeah, I also like that FE lemon as an authentic lemon. You know, I mean, if you're looking to just add like a little bit of a zing to your fruits, and you know, a little bit of FE lemon helps there. You know, because some of these other lemons are very candied, like you say, and they don't you know, add to the profile like a authentic lemon would. So I also agree with you there. But yeah, thanks, Rudy. Deetz, you mixed up Hawaiian, right?
Yep.
So we already spoke about it now. So now we're going to listen into what you have to say.
Well, I didn't hear what you have to say. So hopefully...
You give us your views, man.
Well, look, to me... It was pretty much nailed in the description, but let's go through the percentages. I've got 1% cactus, 4% guanabana, and 1% pink guava. I was very keen when I saw the guava. I really, really enjoy guava. To me, the description is very, very good of this. I don't know, maybe if it's because I read the description and then tasted the juice after that. So it was kind of like subliminal programming or something to that effect. But I get it. To me, there's a lot more going on than the 3 ingredients there. I'm assuming that it's the guanabana concentrate because I have not used that. I've actually had it for about 2 months because I was planning on mixing this 2 months back, but I never did. So I don't really know the concentrate that well, but there's a lot going on. And the description is, these 3 flavors play beautifully together to create a delicately complex, incredibly refreshing shake and vape. Inhale is juicy, full and sweet. Exhale is like spinning a color wheel until it blurs into some pleasing blue-green undiscovered hue. Now, I agree with that because I get a blue-green going. To me, the green comes from the cactus, but it's definitely a blue drink, much like the picture. So it's very, very close to the oceany vibe feeling that I got with the 3-2-1 ocean water recipe from Idiot. It's definitely a tropical vape, very sweet, and also goes on to say a little grapefruit zing, some voluptuous lychee sweetness, something vaguely papaya nana whipped up in a blender with a light touch of coconut milk garnished with an island of flour. Now, the grapefruit, I wasn't really getting much citrus or something like that, but I got a sweetness very similar to a lychee sweetness. And then the tropical thing came from that coconutty vibe. Again, I haven't worked with the guanabana, but I'm assuming it comes from that. It was just strange to me that I get so many different notes from so few concentrates. I enjoyed it. I initially actually thought guanabana was guava and banana. So that's what I expected until I got the concentrate cracked open. I'm like, wait, but I don't waste the banana, you know?
Yeah,
so
I did exactly the same. I had to go onto Wiki.
So I'm not alone. Yes. Yes, it's interesting. I read the fruit and it apparently smells like pineapple and tastes like strawberry and apple.
Yeah.
With a texture of banana or...
Yeah.
Yes, exactly, yes. So I'm glad to know I'm not alone.
Yeah.
It also says feel free to add a bit of WS23 Polar Blast or Colada for that frosty summer refresher. I personally don't enjoy Polar Blast because I completely overdid Polar Blast at some point. Colada has a distinct flavor to me that a lot of people say it does not have. So I stick to the WS23. I really like it because it doesn't take a lot away or change a profile that easily. So will I mix it again? I would say yes. and I used WS23, and I also added a bit of sweetener, 0.2 sweetener for me, and it's really great. I enjoyed it. This is a good recipe. For me, I would say 4.5, because I'm not that familiar with the guanabana. So it does something a little bit strange, but it's a good recipe. It's just because it's unfamiliar to me, but it all goes together very well. It is a very juicy, full vape for me. So the description, again, everything in the description, it's very close to the description for me.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
You see, Deetz, now what we actually doing here is we slowly weaning you onto the florals without you really knowing.
Yes, with an island flower. I noticed that. So, yeah, but it wasn't all that florally to me. I enjoyed it.
And we just got you to rate a florally recipe at 4.5. So
The slow weaning. Oh, next year now I got 6% unicorn from it going.
guys,
So that's my thoughts on this recipe. It was a good one.
Yeah. That kind of wraps it up, for RuntDastardly. Is there anything else that you guys want to say?
No, well, just the collection of recipes that she has, they all very, very good, well crafted. As a beginner, some of this might be challenging, and some of the ingredients might be scarce or foreign. I would recommend this to an established DIYer 6 months to a year in, to try and get out of their comfort zone and exploring with different ingredients, the guanabana, the medicine flower coffee, the Newera waffle, if you can still get from a mate or from an auction house somewhere. But this is my style of mixing. Different flavors used responsibly, nothing overpowering. Everything is nicely balanced. I think the only one that is sort of for everybody would probably be this the Kauai, because that's an easy vape. It's a shaken vape, and the rest, the ingredients are pretty easy to find. Some of the others might be a bit tricky. And it's a quick and easy method to whip this up at 2 minutes, and you're done with this one. The other's a little bit more planning. This one is a quick one, and it's you're on your way.
Cool. Okay, so Runt, thank you very much for all these recipes. Please keep on putting them out. I think all in all, a lot of positive feedback from all the people that have mixed up these recipes. I've looked at all the flavors, and the top 3 recipes there is Dutchie, a delicious strip waffle, and then Bed Rocket, which unfortunately my dog bumped off my magnetic stirrer, so I couldn't talk about it tonight. And then LMN is in 3rd place of the her most popular mixes. So please go and check those out, guys. That pretty much wraps up the show. If you have any comments on any of these recipes and you want us to get back to you, just leave them in the comments below and we'll get back to you. Thank you so much for watching.
Good, thanks.
Cheers, guys.
Yes.